How's it going, guys? Today we're gonna dive into my master chain. Now, the master chain is what I run all of my drum sounds through, all of my VSTs. It's basically the last step to my mix, and I'll put a disclaimer in that I'm not the best mix engineer in the world by any means, not even close. But this is what's produced results for me. Now, when I'm experimenting and trying to find a good master chain, I always try to keep notes of, okay, these levels produce this result with this particular chain. This just so happened to be the levels for a particular project that seem to perform uniformly across other projects. So, getting into the chain. The first plugin we have here is a UAD Studer A800. And what this is a tape machine. It simulates the effect of running your audio through tape. And what that does is it introduces harmonic distortion or warmth to your sound so that it's intentionally distorting it in a way that's pleasing to the ears. Taken to the extreme, you get guitar amps. Going light, you have tube saturators or tape saturation, which is something like this. And the way I use this plugin differently is if we click open and go under the hood, there's a little button here that lets you turn off the tape hiss or the tape noise. So all you have left is the harmonic warmth and saturation. So it's ironic, but the whole goal of these machines back in the day was to keep the noise floor as low as possible, and now we're simulating the noise. But just to get rid of that extra hiss, I turn that off, and then I run things through. I have it on the GP8 or GP9 settings, and you can see the calibrations, etc. You'll have to tweak this based on your project, but this is the first thing my audio goes through. Next on the list is a UAD SSLE channel strip. Now I have this set to a high pass of 20 Hertz, and from what I remember, it's a very non-aggressive high pass, so it's, you're not hearing it cut off like crazy, but there's a difference when it's there. Most of what I'm running the audio through this for is, again, for more harmonic warmth and distortion. This is simulating a channel strip on a UAD SSLE series, and it just adds another layer of warmth and harmonic distortion that makes things sound a bit more natural. Next on the list is the Manley Stereo Variable Mu, and this adds a little bit of magic. Now, you'll have to copy these settings exactly if you have the plugin, but when it's done like so, it introduces a really slow, velvety compression that when your beat gets soft, it lifts everything up, and when it gets really loud, it kind of evens things out, and it does it in a very non-intrusive way. So if you could pick, only 3 plugins from UAD, this one would definitely be one on the list using these settings. After the variable mu, we have Maximus. And for this, I take the lazy man's way out. I just right click and I go to Master Aid 1. Now, the funny thing is that whenever I mess with these settings, I'm not a great engineer, so I can spend hours and hours tweaking, and it just won't work. I won't be in denial when it doesn't sound as good. It doesn't sound as good. So I mix into it versus trying to edit the settings and trying to tailor the plugin for the mix. I try and tailor my mix for the plugin. It's kind of a weird way of mixing, but it's what produces results for me. And if you don't have these plugins, look on eBay, see if you can pick up a used one for extra cheap, a UAD card for your computer, because there's just something about these plugins that is beyond anything else I've heard out there, beyond waves, beyond even isotope stuff. Like it's just got this warmth, this something about it. You know, it's hard to describe, but if you can afford it, do it. If not, you know, realize that when you're building a chain, you know, you have to work within the confines of your computer's power, how much CPU or compute power you have available. But after that, you know, there aren't really rules outside of does this sound better? And a lot of the times less is more. You know, I've seen some engineers who have 40 plugins stacked on submix after submix. And for me, you know, I don't have a lot of CPU to work with. I like keeping things simple, so it's just these 4. And every project varies. But hopefully these will spark some ideas for you on how to build your own chain, or use it exactly if you have these plugins. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, or even see your own chain if you end up posting a video of it. But I'm going to leave it there, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.